As war continues in Ukraine, now some Russian journalists are trying to get more factual information out to people in that country, even though it's dominated by pro-Putin propaganda. Emma Henderson talked to a Russian independent journalist about what it's like to cover the war from the other side of the border.
Born to a Russian father and Ukrainian mother, Uliana Pavlova grew up in Russia, spending the summers in Ukraine. She got her journalism degree in the United States, then returned home to work for English media in Moscow. She was right on the border reporting as the first Russian tanks crossed the border into Ukraine, quickly followed by airstrikes.
It still felt extremely surreal and weird to me to be there and see those strikes going into Ukraine and know that I'm also half Ukrainian and I have family in Ukraine, and I also called them that the same day.
She's speaking to me from an undisclosed country, knowing that there are severe penalties for reporting the truth in the place she grew up. Hearing stories about independent journalists across Russia disappearing.
There was another media law that was passed that basically said that if you call war in Russia anything but the special military operation, if you say that it's an invasion, if you say it's a war, you can face up to 15 years in prison.
This hasn't stopped her from producing and publishing for several international outlets, most recently writing a story about the large number of young Russians leaving their home country and speaking out against Putin.
Children stopped speaking to parents because they find out that their parents believe everything they watch on TV and they support the special military operation, and their children just don't know how that happened. Like, how could you believe in this?
As she travels to stay safe, she carries with her the same white puffer jacket she wore as she watched those first tanks enter Ukraine, wondering if and when it could be safe to go home.
I want to go back to Russia and cover the story, but I also understand that right now Russia is a completely different country than it was when, before the war started.
That was Emma Henderson reporting. Pavlova says she has found a temporary home for now. She is unsure where she'll be living or how the war will impact her long term.